speaking with y'all out there about the whole purpose of the space station. What's the whole purpose of the space station? It's the main thing the space station is doing for us.
Research.
Science. Giant lab, orbiting Earth every 90 minutes, doing cutting-edge microgravity research. So that's made up of different lab modules, and right now you're standing inside the Japanese experiment module called GEM. It's from the JAXA, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency. Cool thing to note about GEM is back there at the back end, there's an airlock, and that airlock allows us to send things like CubeSats and exposure science things out to the vacuum of space. So it'll open up, a little slide table comes out. They can put satellites and things on it, put it back through, goes out, robotic arms can capture them, they can deploy satellites, they can install things on external platforms and do really cool stuff that way. So that's the special thing about GEM. You'll see some plant and animal habitat facilities on the walls here. These are not actually what we have up there, so pay no attention to the cute little animals and plants. As y'all come through here, make sure you watch your step, come right through the middle, watch your step, and watch your head. There's a couple of levels here. And just keep on going straight into Columbus. Columbus is the European Space Agency module, that's ESA. Even though the different modules come from different agencies, we all use them equally. There's science that happens throughout all the different modules, and we all astronauts get to go through each module. It's not like we keep people separated. Come on through, watch your step. Much easier in microgravity, I'm sure. Come on through. All right, so in Columbus, a lot of human research stuff happens in Columbus. Watch your step. Watch your head. Okay, so lots of different kinds of science happens on the space station. One of the big things that we do is human research, and a lot of human research operations happen here in Columbus. If you'll look on that back wall, right back in that corner, there's a picture of a centrifuge on the wall. Turn right there on the right side. There you go, centrifuge. I highly recommend Googling Tim Peake, how to draw blood in space. ESA astronaut Tim Peake did a really beautiful video of how to draw blood in space and put it in the centrifuge and then put it in the freezer for storage. It's a great video. It's one of my favorite research videos ever. Also on this wall over here you'll see MARES. That's a massive piece of equipment that comes out, gets all assembled. The astronauts will sit in it and they'll do measurements on the muscles in their legs. That's most recently has been used for an investigation called SarcoLab, where they're studying how muscles are affected by microgravity. Though it's not pictured here, this is where Veggie lives. Is anybody familiar with Veggie? What do you know about Veggie? Do you know?
Trying to grow lettuce in space.
Exactly. So it's a plant growth facility. Veggie is the actual plant growth facility, and there's different investigations, Veg01, Veg03, things like that. This is where it lives. If you've seen pictures from the space station that have pink light in them somewhere in the background, that comes from Veggie. The lettuce that they've grown, the flowers that were grown. Currently they are growing cabbage, and Peggy Whitson planted that about a week and a half ago, and it's already sprouting beautifully. It looks really good so far. So this is where Veggie lives in Columbus. Any questions about Columbus? All right, we're gonna pop back out here and step right into node 2. Again, watch your head and watch your step. Now you guys are coming into node 2, and as we get set up in node 2, the first thing I want to do is make sure that y'all are all following our research account on Twitter. That's ISS_research. This is the account that tweets about all the science that's happening on the space station. That's the account that I'll be tweeting from. So I'll tweet some of the links to stories about some of the science that we've talked about here today. Node 2 is kind of a hub. Most notable about Node 2 are the crew quarters. I think Shane mentioned his sleeping quarters in the downlink today. This is where they are. This is how close you would be. They have them overhead, on the walls, underneath. This is how close you would be to your fellow crewmates in these in your crew quarters. This is a full-size crew quarter right here, crew cabin, and it's kind of like a giant phone booth. They'll have laptops in there that they can use for personal calls and things like that. A lot of times you'll see them have family photos and things like that on the wall. Recently, Thomas Pesquet, who's up there right now, at Christmas time, he had a little advent calendar in his crew quarters, which was really adorable. And notable science-wise with the crew quarters is the lighting. They've just installed new lighting in there. Do any of y'all have night shift on your iPhones?
Mm-hmm.
So that at night the sort of tone of the screen changes color a little bit? Exactly. And so they've just installed lights in the crew cabins that that have that same effect, that shift tone throughout the day to, and it's part of an investigation called Lighting Effects that's just started. Peggy Whitson is actually the first subject in that investigation that's studying how the changes in light affect sleep patterns and circadian rhythms. So I'll tweet a link to that as well later today off of ISS Research so y'all can read more about how they're using that lighting to study sleep patterns in space. Through there, though we can't go in there today, is Destiny. That's the U.S. lab. And probably most recognizable in there would be the Microgravity Science Glove Box, the MSG, which is a large glass box that they can put, they can set experiments up inside and work through with their hands. Kate Rubins used that Microgravity Science Glove Box to do the heart cells investigation recently, where they took stem cells and turned them into heart cells and grew them in space, and they actually started beating in space. It was pretty spectacular. She also recently sequenced DNA in space for the first time, so that was a pretty big deal. Lots of really cool stuff happening. If you go to our Twitter profile page, ISS Research, ISS_research, the pinned tweet is a photo post of sort of ISS Research highlights from 2016 in pictures, so you can kind of get a summary of what's been going on recently there. If y'all have any questions? Okay, I know it's a quick tour through the labs, but thank you guys so much. Y'all have fun. Make sure you're following us and tag us, and then head out that way through here down the, or
No,
are they